Welcome back to the YouthRise Podcast, a platform dedicated to empowering youth voices through diverse topics of passion. I'm your host, Queeny Gong, and today I'm excited to introduce Max Wen, a freshman from Toronto, Canada. In this episode, we're diving into what it means to push beyond your comfort zone and break through social barriers at a young age. We'll talk about Max's challenges, the key moments that shaped his journey, and how he stayed motivated when things got tough. We'll also hear about the most important lessons he learned during his trip to San Francisco and how that experience changed his perspective. So get ready to explore confidence, courage, and the mindset it takes to overcome fear and break social barriers. Okay, so Max, could you first just introduce yourself, share a little bit about your hobbies, fun facts, or anything you'd like the audience to know?
Hi, I'm Max. I'm 13 years old. I'm located in Toronto, Canada. I love space and science and public speaking and debating, and that's basically like how I introduce myself to literally anyone. But I have a website, maxwen.ca, if you're interested throughout this experience, if you ever want to, learn more about me. Yeah.
Oh, sounds super cool, science and space. But just for today's topic, we're going into kind of breaking out of the social barriers, kind of getting out of your comfort zone. So I feel like this topic is super relatable, especially for teens today. So can you kind of just first share the moment when you realized you kind of wanted to push yourself beyond your comfort zone and kind of explore like talking to other people and socializing?
Yeah, definitely. I think the first time that I actually noticed I realized that I don't want to do what everyone else is doing was probably like in grade 6 or 5 when I saw my brother. He was doing all these cool projects. He was making YouTube videos. The school board that he goes to, YRDSB, made a video about him, and I was like, oh my god, he's able to do all these cool things. And then I look at what he's doing, and I realize he's not doing school. He's not like going to school every day and like focusing 100% on what school is teaching. He's doing his own thing, and that's like about the point where I realized I don't want to do what everyone else is doing. I want to do my own thing.
Wow, it's great to see that you kind of had like a mentor in your life and that you really look up to your brother as someone like you would like to be like him in the future as well. And that's great to hear. So did you face any challenges when you like first initially tried to break through personal limitations? Because I think a lot of people can have that introverted side of them, or they're a little bit shy at the beginning, not sure if people will accept what they're saying or what their thoughts are. So what are your thoughts on that?
Honestly, like the biggest challenge that I face, and I think a lot of the people who are trying to, break the social norm are facing, is being like you said, stepping out of your comfort zone. Because like whenever I go to a networking event or I go to meet people, that like, a room full of adults, I usually feel like imposter syndrome. Right? I'm so young, shouldn't be here. But that's like one of the main challenges that I had to overcome, and I'm still continuing to overcome it. If I want to get out of my comfort zone. So just being able to go up to a person and just ask them, hey, I'm Max, I'm a 13-year-old, and I'm interested in this. Who are you? Like being able to make that first approach, I think is the most difficult part because, you feel like an imposter. However, I think once you get past that is awesome.
Yeah, definitely. I think so too. Like just experience and doing it multiple times, you'll slowly get the hang of it, and like it won't be so awkward at the end. But I'm also aware that you kind of had a fun summer experience, I assume, where you had a trip to San Francisco and met a few adults and did some networking there. So could you kind of share your experience on that and just some strategies you had approaching adults who have inspired or mentored you before?
Definitely. So I flew out to San Francisco near like halfway through August, and I came back near the end of August. And the reason I did this, number one, was to visit my brother, but I went to San Francisco with the intention of meeting as many people as possible and just gaining opportunities. So most of the time, my brother was just stringing me along, bringing me to cool places, but he also just left me and threw me in and just said, go meet some people, and then he talked to his own people. And so I did meet a lot of people. I posted on my Twitter like at least 50 people that I've met. And like the main strategy that I used when, approaching people is I didn't imagine them as adults. I don't think of them as, like fully grown people who will solve other problems and who have a bunch of responsibilities, but are on like already really old and already very accomplished. I just thought of them as basically just like me, right? A lot of the people that I've met are really curious, are really ambitious, or have goals, have their own issues, but they ultimately go and solve it. And I think just like gaining the mindset that these people are not just adults who have everything figured out. They're just like you, but they're just a little bit further up the path. I think that's like the best mentality that I gained, or the most useful strategy that I had when approaching people. Because a lot of the people that I met were like 20, 30 years old who are building startups or who are interested in space and technology. And I'm like, I like space and technology, and I want to do cool things and change the world. So I realized these people, they're not that different from me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And those people definitely they had the same phase as you where they were young and they were learning from others as well. And I bet like just reaching out, they also would like to help you because they were in the same position as you before as well. So yeah, that's great to hear that you're able to network with so many amazing individuals. Did that trip really impact your growth, and did it kind of like change your perspective on what you wanted to pursue in life or like your career, for example?
Well, like, it's still very early for me to set in stone my goals and stuff because I'm still fairly young.
Yeah.
But before I entered the trip, I wanted to, pursue aerospace engineering and space technology. After, I still wanted to pursue aerospace engineering and space technology. There wasn't really that big of a change. It just gave me a bit better of a perspective on how these people are actually doing it, and that like what I'm doing right now is completely possible, right? Because I used to always believe that to like truly leave an impact on space technology will require decades of work with teams of different people. But spending time meeting these people, meeting the startup founders who are trying to change the world, it made me realize that you don't need decades of work. You can probably just do it in a year maximum or minimum, and then you don't need like tens of dozens of people. Most of these founders were just using one or two people. So it gave me perspective on how easy it is to really put yourself out there if you truly try.
Oh, wow. It's amazing to see that you really have that goal in mind and you stick to that, because I think aerospace engineering is not like niche, but it takes a lot of guts to go for that career because it is quite like complicated and intricate, and many people would like to pursue that, of course. So are there any like unique habits or routines you follow to help you kind of stay track on your goal and the goal that you have in mind of pursuing aerospace engineering?
Yeah, I do a few things every now and then. I have specifically aerospace engineering. I try to keep track of everything that I learn about aerospace engineering in a whiteboard. So I use a software called Miro, and I just jot down notes and then tie them together, and then it's very organized. That's one of the main ways I keep track of new things in space tech that interest me. So for aerospace engineering, I'd probably just research like different types of rockets and how they work and problems with them that I may be able to solve. But also in terms of habits in general, I try to wake up early. There's just a bunch of like self-help habits that I try to do, like read more, wake up early, be more productive. You'll find it. You'll find the habits that I'm trying to do in like literally any book about habits. Like most of the habits that I'm trying to work on right now are from the book Atomic Habits, because it taught me a lot about building habits and the importance of it. However, it's mainly just like if I'm truly interested in aerospace engineering, if it's truly my passion, it won't be difficult for me to just set aside everything I'm doing and just start researching. And I don't feel like it's a errand to run. I don't feel like it's a burden. I more so feel as if it's a something fun, like a game of some sort, because I'm learning something that I'm actually interested in. So I think the best habit for me, or the best way to stay track on a passion that you have, is just to truly enjoy your passion. Learn to enjoy what you do, because then it doesn't feel burdenless, right? You don't need to have it. You don't need to put it in your schedule to say every day I need to do this amount of research. It's just going to come naturally because you truly like what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think later on you'll definitely learn that you have to find that passion for what you're doing, or else it really doesn't work out in the long run. Actually, it's pretty funny that you talked about that book because I recently actually read it and I gifted that book to my English teacher because he used to go on tangents about like habits and like bad habits as well. Because I think a lot of high school students, especially, well, you're not in high school yet, or are you in high school, grade 8 maybe? Yeah,
Great, yeah.
grade 8, yeah. Later on, you'll kind of realize that it's kind of hard to like have a good sleep schedule or like good habits because of just like overworking yourself. But it's good that you're starting out really early because hopefully you can stay on track and it will really help you in the long run as well. So, thank you so much for sharing so many of your tips and habits as well. Going back kind of to talking about exploring like your socializing and exploring talking to others, have you ever had a moment where you kind of doubted yourself or like you thought you weren't able to kind of talk with someone? And how did you kind of manage to break through this doubt?
I mean, honestly, like every experience that every time I go up to someone, I do have a little bit of doubt. It's not like some people I just go in there instantly without any doubt. Like every single time, I do have some doubt that I have to overcome, or some like worry that they will judge me and will belittle me because of how young I am. However, oftentimes the way I overcome this doubt is just like telling myself, just say the first word. Go up to them, say the first word. You don't even have to. I tell myself I don't even have to like say an entire sentence. Just say one word. And I think if I break it down into such a small task, such a simple task of just like saying one word, going up to them, saying one syllable, even, then I think it's much easier because then like the daunting task of approaching an adult and just asking if they want to talk, that I can break it down and just like approaching a random person and just asking hi, and you're just saying hi, and without any goal in mind. And then once I get past that first word, everything becomes much easier. But there are some times where I truly feel like I don't even want to go up there and say one word. And usually those times, it takes time to just think about it and like realize that there's no risk in going up to them. Like the worst thing that they can say, the worst thing that can happen is that they brush you off and say, no, thank you, I do not want to talk. And just like, if I have doubt and I'm like, I don't want to go up to this person, I just spend some time and just think about it, right? What's the worst thing that can happen? And then when I realize that nothing bad can arise from me going up to them, I will, just go up to them, say that first word, and then everything else will come very easily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I love the mindset that you have of just not being afraid to do it because you're still young. So, of course, just having the rejections is also a learning experience, of course. And it seems that you really have the traits of just confidence and courage, of course. Is there any like stuff that you did maybe outside of school or like extracurriculars activities that really has helped you build that confidence in like your public speaking or maybe just like communication?
Mainly for public speaking and like confidence, first activity that I do is I teach public speaking and debating, to younger kids, some kids, older kids, sometimes older and same age as me. But I think this is really good for me because, it shows me how it's an opportunity to practice my confidence, practice my public speaking. And by talking to a community or a group of people that look up to you, or that, that's a safe environment, right? They care for you, care for them, and you're willing to help, they're willing to help you. I think in that group, in that community, it just helps you build up your own confidence, right? Because then you're no longer in a judgmental environment. You're more so in a environment where people look up to you, you're empowering them, and they're in return supporting you. So I think teaching has definitely helped me with my confidence because it taught me to get out of my shell and actually be open to talking to a group of 20 students, 30 students, 40 students, as many students as I can or as I want. Being able to just do that because I'm just slowly getting better and better at teaching. And another thing I do is I also do debate. And for debate, it's a bit more different because it's not really the same environment as teaching. Because in teaching, people look up to you, you're empowering them, they're empowering you. However, in debate, it's more so a more competitive. So, but I think what debate, I can't really back out of a debate once I begin because that's against the rules and I'd probably disappoint my partner and stuff. So every time I debate, I try my best not to back out. Even if I'm going against Team Canada debaters or world class debaters, I always try my best not to back out. And basically what this teaches me, and the lesson that I take from this is, even though like I may lose, even though I may get absolutely demolished, I'm still gonna learn a lot. I'm still gonna, at least try. And I think debate has definitely taught me that I can, like, no matter how difficult something may be, I can still try. I can still make an effort, even if I don't know what to say and my speech was, all yapping.
Yeah. When you like first started like talking about yourself, I could definitely hear that you had like a debating background. I feel like it's pretty obvious, and I can really see that you're really well spoken. So, and it's great to see that you have those two sides of the activities. Like teaching kind of helps you help others and also helps you stay like humble to yourself, and then also debating helps you stay assertive and strong within a conversation. So it's great to see that you have both traits as well. But like more talking about qualities for you, what do you think is the most important quality someone needs if they kind of want to do what you're doing right now, breaking out of the social barriers and overcoming fear?
I think the most important quality is, and then this is going to be like the stock answer that you're going to hear from your teachers. Like, everyone's going to tell you this, but it's having a growth mindset. I know it sounds like everyone says this, right? Everyone says having a growth mindset. But I think what a lot of people fail to realize is having a growth mindset, that mindset that you gain, like being open to change, is not just something that teachers tell you because it's in the curriculum and they're contractually obligated to teach it to you. But it's actually something that will benefit you, because once you understand that you have to be willing to change in order to change, you have to be willing to improve. You have to be willing to reject what you have so far to embrace a new you, a better you. I think learning that mindset, gaining that mentality is the most important thing. And I think what I did to get better at having a growth mindset is I just tried different things. I talked to different people, even if they did completely different things than I did. Like if they were interested in AI or coding or arts and crafts or baking, I went up to them, I talked to them, and I think that really helped me develop that growth mindset, because I was willing to talk to them, even though they did something that's out of my comfort zone. They're interested in something that's completely different from what I'm interested in. It showed me that, or it helped me to really just develop that growth mindset, to be willing to go out of my comfort zone, to do things that I may not be comfortable with doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Even though having a growth mindset might be a cliche saying, it's still like you can take it to your own ways, and it's different for each person. So yeah, that's great to hear that you're still exploring, and especially for people who are young and other people who really don't know what they want to do, they really need to just reach out and talk to as many people as they can to kind of know what they would like to do in the future. But yeah, that's great to hear. And kind of just going to the conclusion of today's podcast, what advice would you give to others who are wanting to take this first step?
Honestly, like what Nike says, just do it, really. Like, if you're hesitant and if you're constantly thinking about, well, do I do this first step or not, or do I not do this first step, that, I think what you got to do is just be willing to take that first step, right? If you're given with an option, right, and you're stuck on this option, right, do I do this or do I not do that? I think always, unless it's like, pushing yourself off a cliff or jumping off a cliff, like it's a choice ultimately. If the outcome is useful, then always try your best to take every opportunity. Like, what's his name? I think Michael Jordan or LeBron James or a famous basketball player says you miss every shot that you don't take. So be willing to seize every opportunity that you take, even if it's outside of your comfort zone. And so, like, what I do for this is whenever I'm faced with a decision where, do I take this opportunity that's outside of my comfort zone that may help me, or do I just skip it and stay within my comfort zone? Like, I program my brain to just say automatically, yes. I flatter myself, even if I don't have any intentions of going and I don't want to go too much. If I automatically set myself up, I'm more open-minded, I'm more willing to do these different things.
Mm-hmm. Wow, yeah, that was a great lasting note. Yeah, so thank you so much, Max, for taking your time today to come on the podcast and share such amazing and empowering words to everyone. And hopefully the young people who are listening to this podcast also will try to break out of their social barrier like you have. So yeah, thank you so much for coming, and thank you to all the listeners at home as well.